like, you have a right of entry.
I have.
Like, if I want to go to a museum in Dublin or Cork or Limerick, I have the right of entry.
You have. You're a sovereign citizen.
I am a citizen
And
of
that's
the
what
Irish Republic.
That's what that is all about. That's
Yes.
when you became a sovereign citizen.
Of course.
And that's when the Sovereign Republic of Ireland came into being.
Yes.
And that's the mandate we were given.
Well, you see, I think there's more than dirty tricks to you being played, because I think the people in this country are being conned.
They are being conned.
Because you see, they're being hoodwinked as well.
Give me those. Give me the.
And that's the point. And you see,
Sorry.
No, it's fine. And you can't behave like that.
Well, that's what they're doing. They're behaving like that, and they should be held accountable.
Yes.
And all we want to see is the license that Garrett Brooks got. I've nothing against Garrett Brooks nor anything like that.
No.
I want to see, is the sovereign seal and era on that medal,
Right.
on the license.
Yes.
If it isn't, it's not a license.
Yes,
it's only a permission.
A permit.
A
Yes,
permit.
that's it.
A permit is only for second class.
So I could give you a permit to cut the lawn.
I could give him a permit as well. But anyway, there's the other thing that I said that time when they took off the harp that once gets the red card.
Yes.
They're all up on BillyMcGuire.com. For anybody
Very
who
important,
wants to
actually, if people abroad as well want to actually get the information. It's BillyMcGuire.com.
That is, look, there's that letter, do you remember?
Yes, I do indeed.
And I said it at the time, and they all said, oh no, nothing would ever happen. Look at what happened to the banks.
Yes.
Look at what happened COVID. Look at what happened to GAA when they closed down for most of the year.
Yes.
They couldn't play their games.
Right.
And the same with everybody else. And the difficulty everybody said, because they interfered with the sovereign seal and air on the medal. And you don't do that.
You can't do that. You absolutely can't do that. But is there any legal organisation out there that might advise the GAA to return the seal and get the proper licences then?
That's exactly.
There's something
that's
wrong.
all we're asking.
There's
we have a
something wrong
sovereign
here.
government,
Yes.
and we're coming up to the 6th of December.
Yes.
The 100th anniversary of the creation of Northern Ireland and all that.
Yes.
And look, that's the Liam McCarthy grave.
Yes.
In London.
Yes.
And there's so I'll put that back down there.
Okay. Very good.
And give me that one over there. Let's see. What can I find in that for you?
No. Very good.
Wait, let's see.
But you see, that is the point. This is the whole essence of our interview today.
Yes.
Is the fact that Garrett Brooks is more than welcome to this country.
He's more than, so is other people. But the point is, you have to respect the sovereignty. And those volunteers, they carried 8 strings IV.
Yes.
They put all that up in the mandate. And that's where I was anointed, to protect the sovereignty and the sovereign seals and harps of the sovereign republic. And that's what I'm doing here with you today. Look, there's General de Gaulle. You read him.
I did, yes. Yeah,
and you read him.
Yes.
And he wouldn't allow Britain into Europe because, as you know, up in Carrickfergus, they executed William of Orange.
But we're complaining about the GAA. I'll give you another example of GAA being corporate and for profit. And they need to. They all have to, like every organisation. But here's another thing as well. People are now finding that if they go to book accommodation in Dublin for hotels for that evening, they're paying 50 times the price. But that's immoral. It's not illegal, but it's absolute shock.
Isn't that what corporations do?
But you see, that's the problem. It's going to destroy our tourist industry. How many Americans are going to come over, or Britons, or Europeans, to Croke Park to see Garrett Brooks? And then they're going to be fleeced in our hotels.
And robbed.
It's disgraceful. That's very, very wrong.
It is very wrong, John. And it should. Look, there's the other thing. Look, there's the Star of David.
Yes, yeah.
And that's in Askeaton.
That's right. And
you saw all that. And
we did.
Without the strings,
yes.
Which is important to say. And of course, it was the Knights Templars that brought it here.
That's right.
There's a nice coloured one of it.
Yes.
And that's, look, and I was looking for something there, and I thought I had it, but I don't seem to have it, of King David playing the harp, because that's what he was teaching, and that's, look, there are the feathers on.
That's right.
The American Eagle. The American Eagle, where they got it. And there's, look.
And we had a great tour information from Jerry O'Donovan.
That's right.
And he was fantastic to show us. I mean, so many people came back as a result of that programme and said, we never knew the Star of David. We never knew the feathers
There's the
on
nice
the wall.
Templars, look.
That's right,
What's that
yes.
doing the wall in Askeaton?
Sure, that's it, exactly.
And look
it.
at the 2 5-string tops.
Yes.
You know,
There's
without
a
the
message
strings.
in that. There's a reason for that.
They're leaving all this for us, for our generation,
Yes.
to understand it. And where are we going to? We're lost at the moment.
We're very
Well,
lost
we're not
at the
lost
moment.
Because those 2 5-string tops which are there, which were on the Ark of the Covenant, that's old Celtic Christianity.
Yes.
And that's what was so important, John.
But that is the point. Have we lost our way then,
We have.
as Irish Republicans, as
We
Irish
have.
people, with so much pedigree of great history behind us?
They have been just, look, we're airbrushed out. And if you try to ring up anybody today in the department or in the government,
Yes.
they don't want to talk to you.
No,
Ring
they
up
won't.
RTE, they won't speak to you either. No journalist will talk to you. I mean, you're the only one that's doing
But
that.
sure, they're not journalists then. I mean, RT are as two-faced as they come.
Shocking.
I mean, even their programme output is disgraceful at times.
Well,
I mean, their news output is so biased and one-sided and narrow-minded, it's beyond belief.
Right, I'll throw that over there.
And all we have to do is look forward next Friday to a toy show.
Well,
That,
what
oh,
I
God.
was asking
Help
today
us.
was, and it was, who, get my little glass out to see this.
Well, you see, that is the whole point, Billy. We've lost our way as Irish people.
Now, Garrett Brooks, and now, so what license has he be Crow Park to? And let the GA show the license. That's what we want to see.
That's all, yes.
That's all we're asking, not very much. And then on the 4th of September 2008, the GA, they took off that sovereign seal in there. They can't have it both ways.
Yes.
You can't be pretending you have sovereignty and then you haven't got it. You either have sovereignty and you haven't. And that's what all that war of independence and everything. It should never have happened. It should have been the 1980 32 county election. That should have been enough.
Yes.
Democratically elected by the people. And how can the unionist people stand up and not accept that? They
Yes.
call themselves the Democratic Unionist people.
They do,
I've
DUP.
nothing against them
No.
or anything else, but you have to be. You cannot go on for another 100 years. The conflict between the Sovereign Republic of Ireland is the 1918 32 county election. I've said it many times.
Yes.
And we've just read it out there, the 14th of December 1918, when Britain called it. IRB Sinn Féin won that on the 28 Senate seats.
Yes.
And on the 21st of January 1919, because of the delay in coming round,
Yes.
all the troops coming home, it was ratified in the Mansion House in Dublin. Dáil Éireann has never sat in Leinster House. Leinster House was bought and purchased for the Free State
Yes.
and the Free State government to divide this country, the 26 and 6 counties. That's what Britain did, and that's what Michael Collins. He was Minister for Finance on the Sovereign Dáil Éireann government.
Yes.
On the 6th of December, and when they changed that when Britain changed it, Leinster House, he was only provisional minister, as they all were.
Yes.
But in the first Sovereign Dáil Éireann government, they all gave their allegiance to the Sovereign Republic of Ireland, the Sovereign Dáil Éireann government, the Sovereign Dáil Éireann courts, the War of Independence as Defence Force, and be accountable to the sovereign people. That hasn't happened since. But we keep turning that all the time. That's why I'm
Turning up the seal, yes.
that it's still there for the
Yes.
people. It's the people who are sovereign, and it's their wish to be implemented.
Well, I
You
think...
cannot sit in Europe
No.
without all that, and that's what's so important. There was one other thing there I wanted to bring up.
Well, you see, the point now is, if we have lost, yes, our way, and we are fully integrated now into Europe. I mean, even if you look at the Brexit and Britain trying to pull out of Europe and the repercussions of the protocol, the Northern Ireland Protocol, and Article 6 is going to be invoked, and there's going to be trade wars. All of that is down the line. But it's the ordinary sovereign people that will suffer.
Because they have to pay for everything.
They have to pay. We are paying for everything.
And the people today are only back into slavery.
Yes.
Because they don't benefit anything. It's the corporations that benefit all these people.
Of course.
And they couldn't care less.
But here's an example, Billy. I'll give a very practical example. Pensioners get a €5 increase per week, and the Minister for Finance in each government goes on to say the millions put aside for that. They never talk about the absolute absurd salaries they are getting. Their expenses. I mean, we're being airbrushed. We're just useful for VAT collection. We don't matter.
You don't count.
No,
and we don't. No say.
No, we've no say at all.
Do what you're told.
But they'll come to the door for an election campaign,
and that's only a fraud. Because is it for the 32 counties? What oath of office do those politicians give, and what oath of office do the judges give? I've written it many times.
You have, actually.
Is it to the Free State under the Crown of England that was imposed on the 6th of December 1921? Or is it the Sovereign Republic of Ireland to that one? By the will and wish of all the people of the
should be the original.
That's Dáil Éireann.
That's Dáil Éireann.
And if that's a licence that said it's Dáil Éireann, well then, that licence is a 32 county licence.
Correct.
And the people in Northern Ireland, the Unionist people, are sovereign in Ireland. But Britain doesn't have sovereignty. It's royalty they have.
Yeah.
Because I was in Stormont, and that was the one point that was all the time about the sovereignty. If you have the sovereignty, you're a slave. But I want to also say, look, I wrote to Michael D. Higgins, and I think you
did, yes, I read that, yes.
And the point is, he called himself President of Ireland, as did Mary McAleese, and we saw the documentary she made.
Yes.
And Mary Robinson, we saw her in Glasgow. But why didn't they? They're supposed to protect the sovereign seal. They hand that to the judges, and they hand it to the politicians. You know, claiming that, we're handing you the sovereignty of Ireland.
Yes.
And the sovereign altar. But they never called in the GAA and asked them, who gave you permission to take that off? Mm-hmm. You know, why wasn't that done? Why doesn't Michael D. Higgins bring in the GAA? Why did he, people have to be told the truth for once.
Well, you're the only man that seems to be
but they have to do it.
Talking about it, yes.
I'm not against any of them.
No.
I want to see the sovereignty that those volunteers that we're all claiming are, our ancestors was out of this and that. They're just aren't they being just blackguarded?
Of course. But sure, look, we are being blackguarded with this climate change debacle. Because we're being forced into whatever it is, retrofit homes at the cost of 40 or 50,000. People don't know that what's coming down the line. Carbon levies onto every bill that we're getting, and we're not getting any reduction. And you know something that I have found out, and I'm talking to a wonderful Sinn Féin councillor, Deirdre Ferris, next Tuesday, and people have this type of system where they pay for their electricity to keep the costs down. So they pay a meter. It's like a meter running. I'm sure it's more highfalutin than that. But the point is, with the cost of electricity, fuel, ordinary coal and timber, or whatever it is, going up, way up, all the cost of living in this country is shot up. Deliveries are minimum, and now there's going to be layoffs and probably company closures. And the people now, a lot of them, are finding it very difficult to make ends meet. This is the reality from an economist that I know in Dublin that's giving me this proper information. And I'll be doing an interview with him in the next 2 weeks, who will explain and uncover the absolute con job of this carbon levy and climate change thing. Because we're a dot in the planet, and we're being hoodwinked by the Green Party and others, and it's just utterly disgraceful. And you are right, Billy. You are right. We're forgotten about, and we're slaves to a system that's not transparent and open for the public of Ireland. Seriously.
They've been dishonest with the people.
They are.
And not only that, that's not what those Irish volunteers went out and did.
Not at all. No.
They went out to form a country that we could live in, we'd be educated.
Correct.
And it is there.
Yes.
The point is, our generation, probably the first generation, you could be educated if you wanted to be anything.
Yes.
Because it was put there for you.
Yes.
And you could go any place in the world, which you couldn't do before.
No, you could not. No.
But that's all. That's not good. That's not. It's gone for now. That's not for the next generation.
No.
They've lost all that, and they won't. It won't be there for them.
Billy, thank you so much indeed. It's always. I love coming up here. Do you know why? I can give out, and I can shout, and I can
give out.
But you're great, Billy, and I hope, and I really do hope, for the sake of the Irish Republic and the people in the north of Ireland, that this protocol and the Brexit negotiations will be successful.
But John,
because we're all going to be affected if not.
Those people in Northern Ireland are sovereign.
They are, yes.
But they're only subjects in Britain.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
subjects.
The thing needs to be sorted out, and needs to be, and we don't want the Irish Republican Brotherhood don't want another 700 years, and they don't want 100 years of mayhem, savagery, brutality, propaganda, lies, and deception on our people.
Well, do you know what will happen? It may not go to artillery military conflict, but it will go to trade wars that will affect the people's livelihood.
You'll be paying for water.
And you will be paying.
You'll be paying for air.
Exactly.
You'll be paying for everything, because that's what the corporation wants.
It would be great if President Michael D. Higgins could take this project on board, look at it, the highly intelligent man that he is.
A very experienced politician.
Very astute.
And a very astute man, because he came up all along, and his father was out in the War of Independence.
Yes.
Very respected, veteran.
Yes. Well, look, we leave it at that, and many thanks to you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. You're looking great, thank God, and so is our mascot here, Lotto.
Mrs. Lotto.
But thank you indeed, Billy. Gora Mila Maka
Now, should we